LongWalker Reacts. I am doing our woke cringe Wednesdays. So let's get this party started here. We've got about an hour's worth of this cringe, so let's see what's lined up.
Usually they make it before that.
I know.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I need to be here.
Period. So you should respect women.
I'm sorry. I am a woman.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode. Honestly, today, man, I got some fire. Showcasing some of society's most logical people. Yeah. And if you have a different opinion to these people, don't worry. They're extremely accepted. If you like these videos, make sure you like. It does something with the algorithm. So if you can go ahead and like it, I really will appreciate that. But anyway, let's get straight into it.
What about folks who have wombs but are not women? Like trans people, genderqueer folks. Why do you keep saying women when this issue affects more than women?
Because there are two genders, male and
There
female.
are. I am non-binary. I have a friend who is intersex, who is born, who has different chromosomes than you would expect somebody physically to have. Because how many people in this room have had a chromosomal test? This issue affects more than women. It affects trans men. It affects genderqueer folks.
Women have wombs.
I am not a woman, and I have a womb.
You are a woman.
I
You
know.
have-
No.
Man, sit your ass down.
Your vote means everything to me. It means everything to making a change in this country. So remember, when you're voting for your favorite artist, vote to change some of these laws that are oppressing us.
Get out of here, man. She needs to calm down. She's getting out of breath just by doing that speech. Anyway, let's see how oppressed she really is. Oh, look, here she is, pulling up to her private jet in a Rolls Royce. So
Wow.
oppressed. Lizzo's epic $26 million home has to be seen to be believed. Look at that. That's crazy. Swimming pool, views. Oh, wow,
Yeah, she
she's
needs
so
that whole
oppressed.
swimming pool.
These people are so out of touch with reality. In the words of Ricky Gervais,
You know nothing about the real world, except your little award, thank your agent and your God, and
He's a good guy.
the only law that is oppressing Lizzo is the law of gravity. Eats enough to save 5 hungry children, claims she's oppressed.
Oh God. Who let the dinosaur out? Exactly.
This is the
Go, Jim.
neighborhood, and you are not welcome.
That's why I need to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that is your typical woke idiot. You try to say something, you try to say whatever you want, and they're either gonna scream, or if you say something they know they can't come back from, it's their stereotypical shut up, and they walk away. And that's it, because they know they can't win. It's so idiotic.
You need Jesus, ma'am.
Need to respect women, period.
So you should respect women.
I'm sorry. I am a woman. So fuck you if you don't think so. I don't really have time for this. And I don't have time.
My
No,
mistake.
You're going to let me speak because here's my truth. I've been four times.
That's me.
I've known women that have been multiple times gruesomely. And how dare you sit up here and try to say that women aren't worth respect? Fuck you.
Watch your profanity.
Didn't say that.
Women are fully worth respect. Now, the ones that aren't worth respect are the idiots that pretend to be, or the ones that want to go be a woman and go, compete in any women's sport when you clearly are a man and you have all man genetics, even though you want to say you're feminine or you're a female or whatever. No, those idiots have a special place in hell.
I'm am a woman. I just became a woman. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? People don't even respect me, period. And I'm already black, so it's just like, yeah, that already goes against me anyways. But still, you piece of living garbage ass dumpster fire trash gum on the bottom of my shoe. Oh my god, I wish I had a tissue for the blood. I would
Might I suggest it's your behavior, not because you're black or a woman.
Complains about like not being respected, but then acts like that. I'm sure if you act normal and you act respectful to other people, then you're going to get respected, generally speaking, right? But no, this person wants to scream and shout and swear at everyone and then complains about not being respected. Anyway, let's check out some comments. That's one angry dude. All that because this individual is delusional and lives in fantasy land. The definition of victim mentality.
That's true. That's fucking true.
Let me get one of the paper towels.
That's
Yeah,
given to us when you're like in the most dire of situations. Let's go ahead and say it like it was given to us because if we were to be raped or assaulted by something that we couldn't fight off, that's the only thing we have going for us is this guttural, primal scream that will burst your eardrums. And it's like they're totally misusing that.
Exactly, and they're using it all the time.
Yeah, that's like
it's like any little bit of thing, there's something that they can't control.
That's like the third time I've heard that on this video already, and it's like that's like a primal, like you're at the end of your rope, and it happens once every 3 or 4 years, that sort of thing. They're doing this in public and
private, everywhere. I mean, they just do it.
You know what? She looks like the female version of Peter Griffin.
Oh my god! Try me! Trump! 2020! Trump! 4 more years! 4 more years! What, Brian?
Ladies and gentlemen, they cannot handle it. They cannot handle a little bit of heat applied to them. They have to scream, they have to be the aggressor, they have to be the louder. That is the issue.
I couldn't toast a piece of bread with the kind of heat that I have given a couple of them and they've just crumbled.
Yeah.
I mean, just crumbled.
I know.
Lost friendships over it.
Yes.
It's crazy. Oh my god.
So many female are so masculine in the way that they go about it. It is crazy.
Are insane. I keep telling you.
Demon be strong in you.
It's just funny at this point. I don't even care anymore. I've seen so much of this bullshit and I just laugh at it. These people need help. Imagine sitting down and trying to have like a normal, peaceful debate with her.
And honestly, I've said it, ladies and gentlemen, these people, if it were back in time a little bit, would be the ones that were in the insane asylums before they're not allowed anymore. So it's not that we are getting more of them, but at the same time, we're just getting all of them in the real world.
Because before they would have been controlled, they wouldn't have been able to procreate, they would have been held away for treatment on the sides of society where you don't see them. So yeah, it's just not completely and totally infiltrated.
Now we just have to deal with them in everyday society.
And I do believe the procreation thing is the worst part of it because it's like you get these people that are both really incredibly imbalanced and then they create incredibly imbalanced offspring, and not only do they have genetics against them, then they turn around and have this really super chaotic upbringing, and it's like we're all screwed.
Oh, we're very screwed on this one.
Overwhelmed here.
The aliens don't want to come down here anymore.
No, they don't.
It's not gonna happen, is it?
You're not educating shit. This is fucking propaganda. What are you gonna do? Like anti-trans next? Is that what you're gonna do next?
I mean, no, we're talking about abortion.
This is bullshit. This is violent. You're triggering my students.
Wow.
No, you're not. Because you can't even have a fucking weed. So you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what this is. Get this shit the fuck out of here, man.
Look, that's violence.
The only
Right
thing
there.
this video is missing
They
is
went and
her
scattered the
blowing
keys.
up and getting fat like the Nutty Professor, because that's exactly what this woman is. This isn't the way that you handle a disagreement or having a different thought than the person at the table. You look stupid. You look dumb.
I think that we'll all agree that motherhood starts way beyond the biological event, and anyone, including men, can mother and play the role of a mother.
Men, father, women, mother. That's because the titles are male and female titles.
Okay, mother and to father.
Yes, as Dr. Martin was saying, there are the mother tendencies that a male can have. It has been seen in almost every species that can happen. Doesn't normally last long.
No.
But it does happen.
Yeah, I've had cats that literally, male cats look like, they lick them, they try to nurse them, and they cuddle them, and they have mothering tendencies, but yeah, it doesn't last long, and it's really rare, and it's really superficial.
Yes.
It's like, it's just a comfort thing for both of them, and then they move on,
Now, as far as it goes with being a mother, no. Female only can be the mother. The father is the male. Now that comes down to, again, the chromosomes, what you have. So if you're a trans woman, you are the father. Still, no matter how you want to roll it, that is still the father. Okay, he cannot have the babies. I know they want to say, well, yeah, there's ways, there's this, there's that, but there's not.
It's in the bones.
Yeah, it's within the bones.
It's like we have a bigger scoop to hold all of that stuff together, and it's,
And if they found a way for a male to have a baby, the male would die at the pain level.
Yeah.
I mean, they would.
Yeah. It's like, what, 5 times more than a broken bone?
Yes.
And a guy starts to pass out at 3 times the pain of a broken bone.
Yes, females are designed for that.
It's just the way it balances out. You guys are stronger, faster, more athletically capable.
Yes.
And we can take the hits.
So say all you want on that, but science doesn't lie on that.
Not gender specific.
They are gender specific.
No, they're not.
Why are we pretending
the
otherwise?
Skills
Of course
to
they're
mother
gender
and to
specific.
father.
Mothers are women. I hate to break it to you.
Okay,
I know we're not allowed to
no,
say this anymore, but it's an insult to every damn mother in this country. That some of these blokes who come along and go, I'm mummy. No, you're not.
You are.
You're not. You're daddy if you want to be daddy. You're not mummy. Do you have kids?
Yes, I have a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old.
How many times has
You're
your son
gender
called you daddy?
stereotyping.
Okay, how many times has he
well,
called
here's
you
a brilliant
daddy?
example.
You just said you think
he
you're both.
buys me a
How many
Father's
times
Day
has he said,
card.
hi, daddy?
He buys me a Father's Day card
Has he ever
and says,
called you daddy?
you are a mum and a dad
Has he
to
ever
me.
called
I
you
love
daddy?
this.
Has he ever?
It's Pierce, right?
Yes.
And he's going on about, has he ever called you daddy? And she will not answer the question. She goes around the whole question, but she will not answer
I
it.
think I've seen this before. She says, like, oh, he gave me a Father's Day
Yeah,
card.
she just said that, yeah.
But why, for one
Yeah.
thing, and so what? I mean, maybe...
But does he call you daddy?
Right.
Called you daddy?
It's all
That's what they
so you can say whatever you want, but you need to be ready for the repercussions of what you say.
Okay, you're not free to say whatever you want if you get fired for an off-color joke.
Okay,
How do you feel when it's you who's out of step with the social norms?
Okay, and then you get the repercussions of what you said.
I think you're still acting like this is something new, though. People have been fired.
Well, I'm not, but two wrongs don't make a right.
People have been fired for things that they've said for forever. But now we're seeing an era where if you're disrespectful or bigoted towards someone, you get fired for that. I don't see that as a bad thing.
But it's a lot more that's been caught up. The point is,
Right, see, here is the problem. She says if you're disrespectful, then you'll get fired. The problem is, who decides what's disrespectful? With all these new woke people around, you can't do anything. I mean, you can breathe and it offends them and they feel disrespected. And these are the same people who want to police what you say. And because they don't like it and they feel disrespected and their feelings are hurt, they think you should be banned off all platforms or you should be fired. If that Sailor Moon girl was fired for what she said, she would cry misogyny, sexism all day.
Yes.
Yeah, of course she would. That's the problem with these people. They're happy to point the finger and get offended by everyone else. But the second it happens to them, then there's a problem with it.
Well, made it through that one. Now we're going on to reacting to Gen Z woke cringe.
Are you a boy or are you a girl?
Oh,
Maybe
God.
I'm a boy inside and a girl outside.
Really?
Yeah, is that true?
Only you know the answer to that. So
See,
you wanted
asking the
to grow
mother,
up.
is that true? That kid does not know. Has to be asking, and the mother's gonna force feed that kid so much bullshit that it won't know what to say.
That's totally coaching, and you can
Yes.
tell by the tone of her voice. And also, yeah, that kid is fiddling with stuff and is completely and totally uncomfortable by this.
Yes, completely.
Why would you videotape such an intimate conversation?
Because they want to show the world. No, see, this is what it's supposed to be.
Oh, man.
They want to be all high and mighty, and it's bullshit.
To be a man?
Yeah.
Would you tell me?
Yeah.
Hey, if you wanted to grow up and be a man, you could.
The mother's hair just...
See, this is what's going on. That mother's saying that if you want to grow up to be whatever you want to be, as long as it's what I want for you.
Right.
You know? Do you want a cupcake?
Yeah. Rewarding.
Do you want candy? Well, then you better say this. That's what's going on.
gives it away immediately. She's the root problem.
I want to be... Sometimes I think I'm sort of, but I want to be a girl.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous.
Her son almost looks scared to say he's a boy. I've said it countless times, parents like this need jail time.
Of course. I would love you no matter what. I always have, and I always will.
It was the first time Vanessa ever heard Josie sound uncertain.
That'd be like a fair fight?
I believe so, yes. I don't think that biology necessarily equates to someone's skill range.
This is hilarious.
Okay, so, you know, a 6'1" tall guy, buff as hell, maybe like 250, goes against a 110-pound woman. Really?
Well, what if even if they were in the same weight class? Even if they were in the same exact weight
so
class?
yeah, say like so 5'8" and the girl's 5'8", they're both 110, 115 pounds.
Yeah.
The guy still has more power.
They'd be really skinny.
Yeah. But the guy still would have more power statistically.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot deny it. I mean, they had to go and start that shit and brought it out, and it's really, really, it's really shocking, the margins. It's like, the fastest of us is, mid...
Still, 80th in the men's.
Right, yeah. It's like the lower
The
end.
80th place men could still beat the fastest women's runner.
That's a huge margin. You
Yes.
cannot deny that. As soon as I found that, I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I mean, it is insane.
It's not saying that in MMA and stuff, I don't know. I mean, because you can use leverage, but I mean, it has to be the perfect set of circumstances. I mean, I work with animals and I've taken down horses that are 1,200 pounds. But it's you have to use leverage, and a horse to me would be a whole lot easier because they got a long neck and they got long legs.
Yeah.
They got a lot of things you can work with.
Exactly.
The guys, when they start to grapple up, I mean, you are screwed. I mean, it's just biology.
You and I in general.
Yeah,
We'll play fight. And
as soon as you get around me, that's it. Okay.
Even having a regular man fighting Floyd Mayweather isn't fair.
Yes.
Exactly.
That would be a fair fight?
Yes.
If the organization forced the female boxers to have to compete, then they had no choice. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
If they're identifying as women, they're a woman.
So, a female boxer in his same weight class? Yes. At that point, she would be a...
It is...
Sorry.
It is problematic to say that a woman, if they were in the same weight class as Floyd Mayweather, could not be as strong. Are you kidding me?
I gotta.
That is the cringiest, stupid thing.
This is gonna fall, so hold it.
Okay. That I have heard today. Sorry. Our camera thing is having an issue.
It's because the cats are running around down here, and I saw it starting to tilt, and I see we're getting further and further off the screen, and I'm like, something's going on here. Sorry, guys. Okay, continue. Sorry about that.
Almost feels like a lot of these people are secretly anti-woman. Either that, or they really need to lay off the drugs.
Well, again, trans women are women, so
it would be a woman. Do you think trans women are women?
No.
No.
So, I mean, that's where we disagree.
That's where we disagree. That.
Fox delivering the knees, and that's it. Fallon Fox. Holy cow. Game over.
That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah!
Vegan horse riding championship in Finland goes viral. The sport doesn't involve any actual horses. Instead, players ride a stick with a toy horse head, prance around with their own human legs, and even jump over barriers. The sport is officially called hobby horsing, with about 1,500.
You used to barrel race, and you were getting AAA times in the barrel racing against, in the Gymkhana.
Yeah, I actually, built rodeo points up. I had, national rodeo points. I had enough accumulated to go to Las Vegas. I just didn't have the money, nor the time, or the means to go and do that whole circuit, because it's, a long time to be away from home and stuff. But that was a really big part of my life for a long time. And then I worked with the racehorses. And it's, two hearts, two different species, one singular goal, and then that partnership. Not to mention just all the regular writing and stuff that we did, and working with evacuations and fires and everything. All of
for sure.
Just regular, things that happened, It's everybody's missing out on that. And they have pets. And it's they take care of them, but there's not really much of a meaningful relationship between an animal and human anymore.
No.
And look at how far off they've come,
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten way off track.
Shameful.
It is.
People competing in it from all over the world.
Well, what can I say? At least the kids are having fun. But if this ever makes it into the Olympics or anything remotely serious on a national level, I'm personally hitting the reset button for humanity.
I was just wondering, what were your opinions on the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I don't think it's one community.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, how could it be? Just mash together an alphabet soup. Trans is fundamentally in tension with gay, if you ask me. But what's your opinion?
I'm personally pansexual, so I was just wondering what your views on same-sex couples were.
I don't have a negative view of same-sex couples, but I do have a negative view of a tyranny of the minority. So I think that in the name of protecting against a tyranny of the majority, and there are times in this country's history where we have had a tyranny of the majority, we have now, in the name of protecting against tyranny of the majority, created a new tyranny of the minority. And I think that that's wrong. I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody who is a woman who's worked really hard for her achievements should be forced to compete against a biological man in a swim competition. I don't think that somebody who's a woman that respects her bodily autonomy and dignity should be forced to change clothes in a locker room with a man. That's not freedom, that's oppression.
Not at all.
And so I believe that we live in a country where free adults should be free to dress how they want, behave how they want, and that's fine. But you don't become oppressive by foisting that on others. And that especially includes kids, because kids aren't the same as adults. And so I think adults are free to make whatever choices they want, but do not foist that ideology onto children before children are in a position as adults to make decisions for themselves. And so I think a lot of the frustration in the country, and if I'm being really honest, that I also share, comes from that new culture of oppression where saying those things can actually get somebody punished. And in my case, it's part of why it's my responsibility to say them. And I respect that you may have a different opinion, and that's okay. It's part of what makes our country great is that you and I can be civil and have this conversation, and that we live in a country that still gives us, each of us, the right to speak to a presidential candidate and back, and still say that we pledge allegiance to the same nation. So I think that's the beauty of our country, and that's my honest opinion.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your civility as well. I appreciate it.
Today I was at a coffee shop with a friend and I saw a stranger that I thought was really cute and I decided to go up and ask them out. I was hyping myself up for like 2 minutes because the thought of rejection terrifies me, but my therapist says that I should start doing it in order to meet people, so I approached the stranger. The stranger was sitting with a friend. I went up to them and I was like, hey, so sorry to bother you. I think you're really cute. I was wondering if I could get your number. They look at me and they go, oh my gosh, I am so flattered. That means so much. Thank you. But I'm actually straight.
What you're saying is he was exceptionally polite to you and you still managed to get offended.
And I said, no worries, and I walked away, and I didn't tell them that I am a woman, a trans woman, but I didn't say that. The idea of being rejected and having someone assume my gender felt safer to me than me standing...
See, they get offended saying that they're a woman, And so any guy should treat him like that. But yet they don't have the parts. They got the parts as a guy. I mean, regardless, in bed, things are going to change. It's going to be a gay situation. That's flat out what it's going to be. And these people need to just fess up to it and be. They are not a woman in that area.
They're just looking for external validation, like,
yes.
all the time. It's like, do I look it? Do I look it? I cannot imagine going through life like that. Like,
no.
Wondering, like, I just can't. I mean...
It's our cat.
It's like there was something that was like, I can't remember what show it was on. It might have been either Matt Walsh or Dr. Phil, or maybe that same thing. It was like talking about how, well, my friends, it was a trans woman, saying, well, my friends tell me all the time, oh yeah, you're a woman, you're so gorgeous, don't you? You're definitely a woman. And I think it was Matt Walsh, because he turned around and was like, yeah, that's the difference. He's like, my friends have never come up to me and been like, oh yeah, you're just like an awesome dude.
Yeah.
You just are. You just know.
Yeah, you know.
And nobody's like sitting there telling you those things, you know, like
no.
if you're living a normal life. So it's like, why do you always have to have that validation?
It's a problem. It's a big problem.
For myself and saying to the person I'm actually a woman. I have a deep voice. I wasn't wearing any makeup. I'm wearing a cute outfit though, so.
Holy cow. You assumed their sexual orientation just as much as they assumed your gender. Stop playing the victim.
You know, there's that. I know that this isn't an everyday occurrence. It still hurt. It is what it is. We're not meant for each other. There are lots of other people out there who see me for the way that I see myself, and I'm excited to continue to find those people. And I'm still hot, so.
Definitely gay if you date that. And all of this is happening with this infectious idea that's taking over of this idea of parents' rights. That
what?
Yeah, there is.
That basically, according to her, parents only have the right to pay school fees, taxes, and her salary.
Parents have a right to know. They have a right to know if their child is going by a different name or using different pronouns in school.
It's their
and the thing that keeps hitting me about this is that parents don't have rights. Not parents' rights. Kids have rights. Individuals have rights. We have seen in our legal justice systems that the decisions that parents make can be legally overridden by their children. Children who are old enough to understand a concept.
The key word is old enough to understand. Someone ask her why we don't let kids smoke, drink, or vote until 18. And ask her whether gender identity or gender transitioning has a bigger or smaller impact on their life than everything I just mentioned.
Are old enough to provide their own independent consent to that. And if a kid knows what pronouns are, then frankly, they're able to consent to changing their own pronouns.
Yeah, even kindergartners are being taught pronouns.
Like non-grammar pronouns.
Yes, and it is getting ridiculous. We need to leave the kids out of this whole situation. Kids should not know what any of this is. They don't need to deal with it. They don't need to do anything until they get older. Kids are too impressionable to be forcing it down their throats like what's going on out there. Some of the stuff that I have seen is outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, especially with these very young children, 9, 7 years old, transitioning either socially or medically or whatever. Like that one that you found with the dad super supportive of that.
I know,
like,
that one.
Yeah, I went through this and nobody was there for me, so then when, this happened to my child, it's like, no, you push them into that. How would they even know?
They wouldn't.
I mean, it's like...
You just said, oh, you're feeling this way, huh? You're feeling... Yeah.
Version.
Yeah.
And their parents do not need to be involved in that decision.
I was eating meat racist. I'll gladly tell you. Looks like we've got an oppressor on our hands. So, during slavery times, slaves did not get to eat the same things as their masters. They got the scraps that no one wanted. Chitterlings. Now that black people have overcome slavery, they developed a rich barbecue culture to make up for all the meat eating that they lost out on. So when you go to the store and you buy a piece of meat as a white person, you are actively taking away a piece of meat that could be being enjoyed by a survivor of ancestral slavery. Eating meat is not only racist, but it's also anti-Semitic. During the Holocaust, Jews did not get to eat meat in labor camps. They ate potato soup, which would spill on their bodies, burning them and giving them infections. Now, Jew survivors eat a lot of meat. Brisket.
This woman's
Just
on
let them
something.
have that. Stop appropriating.
A really harrowing experience at work.
That's ridiculous.
I have this one coworker who simply refuses to use the correct pronouns for me. I've called her out every time she misgenders me, and she...
I'd like to shake the hand of her co-worker. I bet she's been putting up with this for far too long.
Just is resigned to not change. And today just broke something in me. I just snapped. I ended up yelling at her after the third time she misgendered me. And
yes, they're snapping, which is what we've seen them do in the streets of the yelling. That is their snapping, which is utterly ridiculous.
Within like 30 minutes, like I use they, them pronouns.
Lady, nobody cares about your pronouns. Life's tough, get a helmet, as Candace Owens would say.
If I am transitioning, why am I pregnant when that's such a woman thing to do? I would, first of all, like to say that
'cause you're a woman.
It is free for me, because one person asked why I don't do like surrogacy. I feel like I'm doing surrogacy for myself. It's free for me. If I have the parts, I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my third child. If I have it, I'm gonna get my well use out of it. So I am going to grow the baby myself. I have it. I'm gonna get my use out of it, and then I'm gonna get it cut out. I have these. I'm gonna get my use out of them. When they're done, gone. Pregnancy's not feminine for me. It's not like a woman thing for me because I'm not a woman, and when I'm pregnant, I'm still not a woman.
I know.
Since you want an explanation that you're not going to listen to anyway, I'm going to explain this to you very clearly. People who use ghost self pronouns do not actually think that they're a ghost since somebody told you that apparently. They just feel that ghost self is a perfect way to describe how they feel about their gender pronoun-wise.
Yes, so they are making up words that they think are going to fit them better. That is what they want. That is all that these pronouns are doing. It's, well, you know, most of them will switch their pronouns on a daily. This is the stupidest thing. It's like, well, I feel like a he today. Oh, I feel like a she tomorrow. You know, they just want to confuse people and make it harder on everybody else.
And it literally works the same way as if you would use somebody's name instead of a pronoun. It works the same way as talking about somebody in the third person. Literally, if I were to say Salem's favorite game is a PlayStation 2 game, and it makes Salem very happy that it still works, but then you replace it with a neo pronoun, so it will be Ghost's favorite game is a PlayStation 2 game, and it makes...
Damn it.
Well, this one's almost over.
We don't have a studio. Everything has to be done
we use
right
it
here.
right here in the room. So, bear with us.
Like, people talk about technical difficulties, they have no idea. It's because there's a cat under the bed that keeps poking at the end of it.
Yep. Like one of the ones that you just saw in the frame a minute ago.
You keep moving around or something. I don't know if you're moving around or...
No, this thing's still leaning.
How's that?
It's okay.
Pretty solid?
Yeah.
Is it not? What's going on? Not kosher?
I'm more over this way, but it's fine. I'll get in the frame.
Yeah,
I'll make sure people see me.
You have to stay in the front.
Ghost's very happy because it still works. Like it's the same thing in a different font. Why is this so difficult for you to grasp? It's such a simple concept, and third graders can
Alright, we're
understand
done
it.
with the second one. I got one more for today. I think, right? Oh no, we got two more.
Don't you hate it when your balls are sticking out of your panties just a little bit?
Is someone going to tell him, or should I?
And it doesn't hurt that bad right now, but you know if you just keep going the way it is, it's going to start chafing and just hurting worse. Why did God do this to women?
Breaking news, you are not a woman. What on God's green earth is he talking about?
Yeah.
You wrote into me. Tell me what you wanted
Dr.
me
Phil.
to get straight with your mom.
I want my mom to understand that I can't live off of $1,000 a month, and I grew up on a certain lifestyle. She can't just take that away from me immediately.
Yes, you can.
If my parents gave me $1,000 a month, I'd give it back immediately. This girl needs to go out and get a job.
If someone took her lifestyle away from
You
her,
could do it.
she wouldn't like that. And I grew up on it. It's all I ever know. I can't deal with this. And so, I came to you for help.
Okay, so you want me to get her to do what? What would be the home run for you?
I need her to understand that I need at least $2,500 a month. She works all the time. She doesn't do anything for me. She doesn't drive me anywhere. So other people would have their moms, like, drive them places, buy them food, make them food, but I have to do everything myself.
I know tons of people who can't depend on their parents to pay for everything. That's life. Still nothing stopping you from getting a job of your own. But the parents also got to take some of the blame. They probably spoiled her in her early years to the point where she acts like this.
And I need the funds for that.
So do you do that? When you have the money, are you in there in the kitchen frying up stuff and mixing up batter?
No, I'm buying food.
I'm a proud he, she, they, them, whatever. I am a boyfriend to a beautiful woman. I am a girlfriend to a handsome trans man.
No idea.
And
what
I'm
that is.
also a girlfriend to
No
an
idea what that
incredibly
is.
beautiful woman.
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
Yes.
You should be medicated.
Try wrapping your head around that if you came to America for the first time.
Growing up in this town, my mother always told me to love myself for who I am, not what I am not. Not all of us can be as lucky and have a supporter like that.
Okay, so love yourself for who you are, not what you're not. Okay, so you're gonna change yourself every minute because you're gonna make sure that whatever you want to love is that part of you at that moment. That is what you're doing. Great job.
I knew friends in school who would bring an entire change of clothes with them so they could dress the way that they felt inside and be free of persecution that they would feel at home or the sideways glances. One of the first things we learn in a healthy family is trust, and unfortunately some parents don't trust their children when they say, this is me.
Why? No.
I trust that an 8-year-old kid can't spell the word gender, let alone decide his or her own gender identity.
Yep.
And they make that decision for them. That may make the child fearful for...
Tired of straight white men having the power and everything, you know, and it's like we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we're very much capable of certain things.
You're a human. Stop talking like a programmed robot and regurgitating talking points from your liberal college professors.
And we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, you know, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance?
Wow.
I know, I do need to go. I'm sorry.
Straight from the professor.
I did it.
And just like that, you scared them away with the slightest threat to their worldview.
Career conference for females in tech was taken over by male attendees.
They were there just purely for the career fair.
Social media clips filmed at the Grace Hopper, the world's largest gathering of women technologists, showed men standing in line to meet with recruiters.
A wise man once said, when the job market gets tough, identify as non-binary to get into all the career fairs.
This is a space for
They
women
left that open.
in tech.
They made that mistake.
This is one of those few limited resources that isn't for you, it's for us.
Some of the male attendees reportedly lied about being non-binary just to get in.
But it's interesting that the large majority of the people that actually ended up in the event had name tags with he, him, and have no searchable history of identifying as non-binary.
Several tech workers defended the men for trying to capitalize on job opportunities not meant for them, saying that the entire concept was wrong.
Let's be honest, there is no need for a conference just for women, because if it was the opposite for men, then it would be sexist. Just because you are a woman doesn't give you the right to talk to a big firm recruiter. Guys work just as hard and they don't get that chance.
It's always beautiful when these radical ideologies are used against them. Anyways, I stand with these stunning and brave non-binary women.
Let's go, John.
Get out of our fucking space! Get out of our fucking space! What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck out of here!
Over the past decade, these videos have gone from being hilarious to quite concerning. Regardless of political affiliation, no one should be physically abused like this.
Yeah. Animal. I mean, he has a fucking walker for crying out loud. And these people getting up on his face. Yeah.
What did you expect?
I mean, they had him on the ground.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous.
It's truly crazy how the party of love and acceptance is responsible for all this violence and hatred across the country.
The symbolism of the flag does not mean what it used to mean. Now I see an American flag hanging from someone's yard or house, and I immediately assume that they're conservative right-wing lunatics. Because y'all have used the American flag as a weird representation of like patriotism, but like in this weird, intense, violently non-educated kind of way.
What?
There are very few countries' flags in the world, and especially the Western world, that would make me uncomfortable. If you have a problem with an American flag but not the Antifa flag, I have news for you. You're not uncomfortable, you're just biased.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a trans woman. How are you doing? Oh, you're trans? What bathroom do you use? The one with the toilet?
Well, this is just lovely. I had a neighbor confront me for using the women's restroom. I lived here for 4.5 years. Everyone should know that I'm a trans woman. I've always been known as Kaylee. I've always used she, her pronouns. I've been having some stomach issues because of Trulicity, and I had to use the bathroom real quick. And they're single-use bathrooms, and it's the only place that I feel safe using the women's bathroom. Well, I got done and got out, and this neighbor was talking to another neighbor and started pointing out the sign. I knew exactly what she was talking about because there's a big old woman sign. And I'm like, is there a problem? She's like, yeah, you're using the woman's restroom. You're a man. And I said, I'm a trans woman. And she's like, no, you're a man. And she kept saying that over and over.
When did you start
and she kept saying, you're not a she, you're a he. You shouldn't
have
use it.
fully
You're
developed
born a
as a
man.
man,
It's over and over.
regardless of
and
what
honestly,
you want
I
to
just
identify
lost it. It just lost it and just started screaming and swearing. I just couldn't handle it. I just
walked away.
I should be able to use the restroom. The apartment manager knows I'm trans. Everyone knows my name is Kaylee. And then my group of friends, I thought my friends were all starting to yell at me saying I escalated and because she had 2 kids. I didn't even see the kids. They were there and I just lost it. Fight, flight, or freeze, and I fought. You don't know what it's like to be a trans person. And then my one friend started yelling at me, and none of them stood up for them. They blamed me that I was the one that was at fault. When none of them stood up to me when this person kept calling me he, she, he, man, like triggering and awful. Like I deal with enough on here. Like my apartment should be a safe place. There's nothing safe for a trans person. There is nothing safe.
You know, these people are a complete and utter joke. A true trans person transitions fully and then goes by what they want to go by. That's done. I respect that. These people, they want to stay looking like a guy, but yet, well, no, I'm a woman. But they don't want to do the actual work to do it.
To actually look like a woman.
This is ridiculous and it needs to stop. People need to stop supporting this.
And if it's a single-use bathroom, then why don't you just, I don't know.
Well, single-use bathroom, I don't think that really matters.
Apparently that's what it was, and they were like throwing a fit about it, and it's like, I don't think that's too much of a problem, but...
No, I don't either, but...
Again, you can't stand in your truth and, like, explain yourself and be, like, interested. No, they have to...
Yes, exactly.
They have to default.
Yeah.
Run away from the situation.
Yeah, they can't just stand up and say, well, listen, this is what I am. No, it's running away.
Yeah.
It's all a joke.
For a trans person, this is the life, and it fucking sucks. And even when you have your friends don't have your back, and then my one friend Annette just starts screaming at me, and I'm like, if I start screaming back at her, I'm done.
Oh my
These
God,
are
you
fair
actually
weather
screamed
friends.
at that
These are
point.
not the friends that I need, want,
tell
and
the other
deserve.
person.
And if I can't find it here, I will find it elsewhere. So I don't know. I'm so fucking triggered and feeling so awful. Like, I just want to die. It's fucking sucks.
Oh yeah, we're
Here's what the men's and
sanctuary
women's
state.
groups. So they're single-use bathrooms. So you can see there's the
Oh my
men's.
god, you're gonna go on about this?
Here's the women's.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, thank you.
One thing about me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have boy breakfast,
Oh.
and then I'm gonna have non-binary lunch, and then I'm gonna have girl dinner all on the same day. And between that, I might have a little gender snack.
Look at that giant nose ring.
Done. My 3 balanced meals.
What the does that even mean?
Dictator.
That's movies, man.
That was a good one. We just saw it. All right, the last one that I have.
I'm a little trans girl, small and cute. I thought
They're not
my
small.
jokes were bad.
Oh my god, he's ugly.
They're real.
Hi, you guys want some cookies?
That's truly what the Joker
I
is.
get my steamed up. I can
wow.
That tippy over part sounds kind of inappropriate. So I'm just got song there and keep it kid friendly for all my young followers out there.
Please don't.
Stay proud, stay beautiful, and stay kind.
This man needs to go straight to the asylum. I don't know how this isn't considered insanity.
The American College of Pediatricians, a far-right organization. The website has resources for parents, teens, and providers. So these are doctors. And the advice that they give is horrifying. So for the teenagers in that section, it tells teens that they can expect a lifetime of pain if they transition, clearly trying to save people away from transitioning.
Thank God for those doctors telling the truth. It's scary that professionals are afraid to speak out for fear of getting cancelled.
And for doctors, it specifically tells doctors not to use patients' names, pronouns, and more. But the most horrifying part of all of this is probably the section for parents, where they have a question in the FAQ section around how can parents ensure that their kids are no longer transgender or don't identify as trans. And they have a big handout with all of the ways that they can do this. Among them are fathers playing wrestle with their boys, as well as complimenting their big muscles. And of course, whenever it comes to girls, they suggest that you reinforce their femininity, but that's not the worst part. The worst part is the advice for mothers, which says never to yell at the fathers and never to withhold intimacy from the fathers if you want to raise a heterosexual and therefore, in their minds, cisgender youth.
Yeah, God forbid you raise your kids properly and they turn out to feel comfortable with their biological sex. If anything, it's the teachers and social media that are influencing children the most.
And that's mind-blowing. Like, they're literally telling moms to, like, be more intimate with dads in order to make sure that your kids don't turn out to be trans.
Travis Allen, he was a girls' soccer coach at Randolph Union Middle School in Vermont. He was just suspended from his job without pay because he complained about a male student looming around the girls' locker room. Then the school punished Travis Allen's daughter, Blake Allen, for speaking about it too.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here. It's getting ridiculous.
Let's stop normalizing this madness. Imagine telling someone 10 years ago that you'd get suspended for keeping a biological male out of the women's bathroom. The next few years are really going to decide the future of this country.
Travis, you complained about a man in the women's locker room and you were punished?
Correct. I made a social media post that referred to the male student as a male, and I was punished because I misgendered him.
Blake Allen, what did you do wrong in the eyes of the school, and how were you punished?
Because the school and everything else wants to play into the illusion that it is all. And oh my god, we cannot hurt each other's feelings. We have to hold each other's hands and you know, be good with everybody.
Like the little pride parade that they held, that they encouraged us not to tell anybody about.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
And you need to do one that talks about those banned books.
Oh my, yeah, that one. Maybe one of my next week's woke.
Yeah,
we'll dive into that.
Like that shocked the shit out of me. It's like
It
they're
did.
like literally talking about like there's books for like 10-year-olds, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's okay to give your friend blowjobs. You know, and it shows pictures on how to do it, and that's like
it's crazy.
In the school.
It's in the school, and it is allowed. I mean, it is.
And it's encouraged.
Yeah.
Like, they'll take out things like Catcher in the Rye and stuff like that. Most
Yeah.
commonly.
It's crazy.
in the locker room and the trans student walked in. The rest of the team was in there. I was really uncomfortable and I left and I told the school and they just shut me down and said there's nothing they could do. And I was later suspended.
How old were you when
Let's
this
not
happened?
help
I'm
the
14,
women
I'm a
that
freshman.
want to feel
And when you
safe in their own
complained about a
bathroom.
dude in the
No,
girls' locker room,
that
you got
can't be.
suspended.
Yes.
There will be no spooky haircut this year. Just kidding!
There'll be no spooky haircut.
Instead of a haircut, I would recommend a spooky toothbrush.
Spooky haircut! Spooky haircut!
Again, I will say it. It's gonna get silent.
Haircut!
No, yeah, seriously.
Haircut! Oh! This year is gonna be... That's gonna get old.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's check it.
Like that.
Is it Batman?
Yeah.
That was
The
Batman?
Batman symbol. Yeah.
I feel spooky!
And
Look,
Spider-Man
confidence is
wearing
great
that
and all,
here.
but I seriously
no,
wonder
it's
what kind of
spooky,
stuff
so
she's on.
probably for Halloween.
Got to say,
Yeah.
that middle part where she was shaking her head was actually quite scary.
Wow! Look at this. Ooh.
Maybe an earthquake.
She's so cute. Hey.
I'm fat because I drink too much red wine and I don't exercise enough.
That's not true. You're not fat because of what you eat and how much exercise you do. That is the line that everybody is led to believe.
Here's some common sense. Don't take health advice from unhealthy people.
Left you now and ran up and down Leicester Square for 3 hours and then went home and had a piece of lettuce and then came in and did the same tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. I would start to look like a supermodel.
Only for a few months, and then you would stop. In fact, you would start regaining weight within the first year. That is a fact.
No, it
That's not
isn't.
fiction.
Nope.
That is an absolute fact. And
It's a miracle that this woman got a medical degree, and I'm hoping she gets her
I
license
mean, that's what they
revoked.
think about
there
it.
is literally no evidence that
It's
weight loss is
stupid.
going to benefit anybody's health, whether they're a child or an adult. I'm willing to stake my medical career on the fact that that the lies that we've been sold
Well, apparently
about
they're in the
obesity,
medical
especially
field.
childhood obesity, are not true. They are there to
what does that
benefit
mean?
the weight loss industry,
Yeah.
not to benefit children. Evidence is very clear. Up to 98% of people
Did they
that
get their,
attempt weight loss
their
will have
license in
regained all
Cracker
the weight
Jack box
within
or something?
5 years. That is up to 98% of people, and that is absolutely unquestionable. Second thing, this idea that energy in and energy out and energy calorie deficits.
This woman is sure she revealed anti-white alcohol discrimination.
Here is serving them drinks. But I'm white, you're disturbing the cabin. That's number one. No, I'm not. So we're asking him kindly if you don't mind just particular street. I will. We will not be serving you any alcohol. You never served me any alcohol, but you served the black people. We will not be serving you any. And that's fine. Okay.
Honey, you didn't get served because you look like you're 10 drinks in
You got
already.
served.
And you never served me anyone. But you're discriminating against me because I'm white. I get up there and still to take your seat. I am
Yep.
going to sit. Okay.
That's why they weren't
you're
served.
discriminating against me because I'm white.
Yeah, we had one day. Oh my God, she had so much alcohol. She kept buying it for us too, and we're like stashing it away.
What?
Yeah.
Regardless of race, it's always embarrassing when people immediately try to play the victim card.
It's really nice.
Take
about
it easy on the drinks and pills.
Black life matters, white life matters. It's all peace and love.
After her racial slur, she was escorted from the cabin.
More wholesome stories about discussing my gender with my students. So I have one student who, ever since I explained to my students that I was non-binary, it's been living in his head a little bit. I think that he is still confused and fascinated by it. It doesn't upset him, but it's something that, like, clearly he's, like, processing because he'll ask me questions fairly often about it. So we are doing...
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're dealing with. This is truthfully our teachers, our aides. This is what we're getting. Is that truthfully what you want as a parent if you're out there watching?
You want that as your educator? You want that as your
Yeah.
child's educator?
Do you want somebody like that poisoning your kid's head to thinking that they're trans and then not telling you about it and going behind your back and getting you in trouble for not supporting it because you did not know? This is what we are dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. We need to stand up and stop it.
Everybody needs to homeschool.
Yes.
Just to literally pull all the kids out of all the public schools.
Yes.
And go back to homeschooling because, I mean, they did it during COVID. Why can't they do it again?
Exactly.
You know, there's plenty of programs out there, so I mean, that's the only way that that's ever going to make an impact.
Yes,
It's
precisely.
Like, what if you ended up getting a student that was like against it, you know, and now he has total disrespect and he looks at the teacher in a different way, and that affects the learning. They should not be thinking about what their teacher does, either in the bedroom or what their gender is or anything. It was like we barely could find out like what our teachers' like hobbies were back in the day.
Exactly.
And if they shared that with you, it was still really like vague, you know.
I know.
This is not.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Arts and crafts, again. I guess arts and crafts is a good time to have conversations. Things are quiet, kids are focused. I'm walking around checking on how they're doing. So he and his friend are sitting down and drawing, so I go up to their table. And he goes, "Teacher Rebecca, are you ever going to decide if you want to be a girl or a boy?" So I say, well, it's not really a decision like that, and you don't have to choose between one or the other. I already figured out that I'm neither. Do I seem like a girl to you? Do I act like a girl?
Yeah.
And he said, you
look like one.
Kind of act like a girl and a boy. And I say, would you prefer if I acted more like a girl? And he kind of paused, and he was like, I think if you acted like a girl, I would be less confused. So I said, I understand that. I know that, you know, I look like a girl, so it would be less confusing if I acted like one too. And I turn over to his friend and I say, what about you? Do you think I'm confusing? And his friend just goes, no. I say, do you think that I'm a boy or a girl? No. Oh, what do you think I am? I think you're a boy and a girl.
And that just tickles me.
And that gave me a certain...
Only...
She's about to say it. Okay, good.
Yeah, only because it's what she had already said and discussed with the other kid. That's why that kid did it. Again, impressionable. This is the way that it works. This is why these people should not be around kids.
And it's like, I knew it. You could tell by that little smile, she's just tickled by this. And she's about to say something about it. That just gave me a sense of, and it's like, let's see
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Amount of euphoria. Like, even though I don't identify as either a girl or a boy, I think what he was saying, you know, being 8 years old, was that that's how he interprets me as a person. He interprets me as a blend. And that works, because that is in a way how I am. My gender moves, and my gender is not either. And I have both feminine and masculine qualities to me. So I'm glad that they're getting it, and I'm glad that they're curious too.
Oh,
man. People ask me what my pronouns are, and I'm like, yeah, they or she is fine. It's true. But when someone uses they for me, I feel like flooded.
This is what it seems like with these ones, alright? Yeah, they can call me they, he, him, her, zai, z, and this whole list is so stupid.
And there's that one that talks about like having pumpkin spice or Lorax as a pronoun.
Yes.
It's like, yeah. She's crazy.
Ghost.
Yeah, that's right, the same dumb bitch. Excuse my language, but yeah, it's the same one, and it's like, yeah, I can't stand that.
No.
With warmth. And when someone uses she for me, I'm like, I exist, I've been perceived. So, it's fine, especially if you're queer, but if you a straight person, I'm not a she to you.
Nope.
Hey, lesbians of TikTok. I'm transgender lesbian. First of all, I want to know, you know, if I'm
so a male that wants to dress like a female
in the lesbian community
and go out with females. Yeah.
But anyway, I was throwing out a girlfriend application there for someone to be my girlfriend. Anyway, here's what you get with me. First off, I do have a requirement that you drive your U-Haul here. But don't sell your place. Only be here for 1 year. after 6 months, if you propose to me, I will say yes. And then from there, 6 months to a year, propose to me, and I will say yes. From there, we will get married a year later. And I'm very loyal, and that's it. I'm also clingy.
Burn. Yep.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching with us. Tune in Friday. I'll be doing my other half of the special for my the porn addiction for the teenage mind. We'll finish that one up and have a few more videos to watch, so don't forget to catch that. I'll try to do it about 6 o'clock at night again. That seems to work best. I'm sorry it ran late tonight. Thank you everybody for watching. Namaste. Special thank you to Dr. Rotten for joining me tonight. Namaste everybody. Have a great evening and tomorrow. Now watch me as I try to figure out how to turn it off.